Satyanarayana Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriat. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter number 1.
Sound.
Verse number 48. Why everybody is laughing? You're laughing or you're coughing? Okay. What is this echo? There's the echo. Okay, now? Why there is echo?
You say something?
Haribol.
This one is.
Okay, so we read that Kamsa who wanted to kill Devaki, and then Vasudeva tried to dissuade him, but he did not listen. And then Sukadeva Goswami is explaining that when he realized that Kamsa is intent on killing, so he thought now what to do in this situation, and we should find some other means to counteract it. So this is, he is continuing to speak this. So he says, Mrityu buddhi matam apohyo yavad buddhi balodayam yedi asauna nivarteta na aparadho asti dehi. So this is how Vasudeva is thinking, that an intelligent person, buddhimatam, should try to ward off death as per the strength of one's intelligence. Yavad buddhi balodayam. So, according to one's buddhi bal, or according to one's buddhi and bal, both can be taken as one or separately, according to one's intelligence and physical strength, or the strength of the buddhi. And if one is not successful, yadi asau na nivarteta na pradho asti dehina, then it is not any flaw on part of the person. You tried, but still you could not save yourself. What can you do? So this is what Vasudeva is thinking. But what Kamsa is also thinking like this, then what? Right? Vasudeva is thinking that we should protect Devaki, and Kamsa is also thinking he has to protect himself, Yavad buddhi balodayam. Right? So what is wrong in case of Kamsa? Then he is trying to kill Devaki. Because he says that. Right? Mrityu buddhi matam apohyo. So is it not applicable to Kamsa? What would you say? Is it applicable only to Vasudeva and not to Kamsa? Yes, no? Sujani?
It's only applicable to us.
So therefore what is he doing is right? To kill Devaki.
No, it's not right.
Why? Because the verse says that Mrityu buddhimatam apohyo, one should try to ward off death, and death is coming from Devaki.
But he's trying to protect himself by killing another one.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you have to do that. If a tiger is attacking you, you have to protect yourself. You will worship tiger or you will kill him.
I will try not kill him, but if I have to, I will.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
That's what he is doing. So what is wrong?
The danger doesn't come from God, it comes from the sun.
Here the situation is little different.
Okay, let's see. Okay, how many people? Let me first ask. How many people think that Kamsa is right? I mean, besides me, I have to I have to take that stand. Somebody has to give argument,
I also think that Kamsa is right because it is applicable to everyone when you are in imminent danger of death. You want to protect yourself by all means.
Thank you. Anybody who wants to join me?
Okay, yes.
Yes, I think it is wrong because Kansas is impairing that. He doesn't know yet that's going to happen, whether Devani is truthful or not. But here this is imminent. Devaki, Kamsa is ready to kill with a weapon. So Vasudeva has more priority, more importance to where that Kamsa doesn't have, he's not in the same situation what Vasudeva is.
Okay. So he says that it is not in the same situation. So that means he should not think, means Kamsa should not think that his death is coming. That's what he's trying to say. Means if you are here and somebody comes and tells you that this guy is plotting against you, he wants to kill you, and so you should not take any action against that person because maybe this person is telling lies. That's his argument.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
So therefore, if somebody comes and tells you that your neighbor wants to kill you, he is plotting to kill you, then you should not believe him.
He should not act under the impulse and.
I mean, what is the impulse? There is a statement coming from gods. Gods don't tell lies.
But then, if he listens properly, he will understand that the danger doesn't come from the lady, the sister.
Yeah.
The danger will come from the son.
Danger does not come from sister. From where does Krishna come? Krishna is danger, right?
Yeah, Krishna is danger.
So from where is he coming?
He's not
Coming
yet
from
there,
Devaki, right?
so he can.
It's coming from Devaki, not Vasudeva. The voice said 8th son of Devaki. It could be from another man.
That means also that.
In that case, like you
He
say,
didn't say 8th son from Vasudeva and
you
Devaki.
kill the Vasudeva first.
No, he just said 8th son of Devaki, so 8th son of Devaki can come from another man.
No, Devaki is only married to Vasudeva, not to anybody else.
Okay, you kill Vasudeva and he can marry another man. He has to kill so many men.
There is no remarriage in Vedic system.
No. There was one man. He shot his wife. So he was produced in the court. So the judge was questioning him that you saw your wife having a relationship with another man. So why did you shoot your wife and not the man? So he said that it's better to shoot her, otherwise you have to shoot one man every week. So killing Vasudeva doesn't solve the problem. You understand?
Yes, Babaji, but it was said that the 8th child, so it will take some time to this child to come, so he will have time to prepare to defend himself. He doesn't have to kill her immediately.
Well, there's a saying in English that what do you call the nip in the bud? This is called nipping in the bud. If you have a disease, better to act quickly, not that it turns 4th level of cancer. And then you say, well, cancer takes time. You don't die immediately, right? So I will take when it is 3rd level or 4th level, then I will counteract it. No, then it's too late. So you have to act in time. Coronavirus, so well, let it come to the lungs, then I'll think. No, it's not like that. This is called buddhi. Mrityu buddhi mataam pohyo yavat buddhi balodayam. If you have intelligence, then you try to counteract as quickly as possible. Not that you delay. So death, disease, fire and enemy. They should not be what you call postponed. Take care of them immediately.
Kansa is not buddhimata, first of all, and secondly, because he is so much under anger, his buddhi doesn't function. So this statement is not applicable to him.
No, it's not applicable. You are not understanding the sloka.
No, sloka I understood. It is a general principle, but again, only buddhimata applies the principle. One who is not buddhimata will not apply the principle.
Everybody has buddhi. There is nobody who does not have buddhi. How did he think of killing her if he does not have buddhi? If he did not have buddhi, he will not act. Like a child. Child sees a snake coming, he will catch and start playing with it. He will not think this is him. This is my death and run away. But he doesn't have buddhi. The very fact that he is taking action means he has intelligence. So you cannot say he does not have intelligence. He had intelligence, otherwise why was he trying to drive the chariot of Devaki? Fools don't do that.
It doesn't need a buddhi, need affection.
Yeah, affection is also type of buddhi.
Babaji, here the Bhavishyavani was made, so his death was inevitable. So how is it intelligence or strength to fight against that which is inevitable? Shri Krishna says,
everybody has to die. Death is inevitable. Everyone has to die. You fall sick, corona is coming, you will die. So does it mean that anyway I am going to die, so why shall I care for corona? That's what the sloka is saying, that as buddhi, death will come. But if you have intelligence, you try to counteract it as much as possible. One day you will die for sure. No one can stop that. But that does not mean that you don't do anything. So that's what Kamsa is trying to do.
So Babaji, why Kamsa didn't act like King Parikshit? Because King Parikshit knew that he was about to die, but he didn't kill anyone.
Because Kamsa is not Parikshit. I mean, this is not a question. Everybody has their different intelligence and everybody acts differently. You cannot say why you are doing this and not like your neighbor is doing. You are you and neighbor is neighbor. Why is that you are listening to the lecture and your neighbor is not listening? In fact, your mom is not listening. You're probably living in the same house. I don't know, maybe.
Sure, she's not.
Yeah, so why is that? Because you have better buddhi. So that's not a good argument. So you say cannot blame Kamsa just like that.
And Babaji, one more
yes,
thing.
Yes, thank you. I like you. Thank you. You are with me.
No. Another principle, what I was saying is that in a situation where there is an enemy eyeball to eyeball, so either you kill or you get killed.
Exactly.
So
yes. Whoever acts first wins. Offense is the best defense. And that's what Kamsa is doing. No?
Could it be said that if we take buddhi bal as a compound, then to classify according to this verse, it would mean he would have to have good buddhi, not just any type of buddhi.
Yes.
And Vasudeva has just given him very good advice, using very good buddhi. So if he also had good buddhi, he would just follow what Vasudeva told him.
What did he tell?
He told him not to kill his sister for various reasons. It would be a defamation of the family.
Yeah, but that is going against the sloka. What about his mrityu?
Right.
Vasudeva is saying, okay, don't kill her, and then I'm going to die. So how that sloka apply to him?
Because
he says you should counteract death by using her intelligence, and Vasudeva is just trying to, not make him not use his buddhi.
But Vasudeva also spoke to him about a principle.
No, Vasudeva is speaking from his own interest. Kamsa has to think of his own interest. When it comes to life, everybody has his own interest. कुलस्य अर्थे तजेदेकम. Okay? And ग्रामस्य अर्थे कुलम तजेत. ग्रामम में राष्ट्र अर्थे आत्मा अर्थे पृथ्वीम तजेत.
Okay, so in the interest of the Atma, he doesn't actually gain by killing his sister because he only incurs sin, and Vasudeva advised him in the interest of his Atma.
Forget
not
about
to kill his
sin.
sister,
Sin
because
whole.
he would be better off dying that way and having a better chance in his future life.
Sin is only when it's not your death. When it comes to your death, there is no sin to protect. What is that? Ayatam eva hanteva atataina. Anybody who is a atatai means who is a danger to your life, kill him immediately as soon as you see him.
Okay, but does that apply in this context when Devaki is not actually directly the cause of his death?
What the gods are saying, why did God say this now? Tell me. If gods did not have this interest that he should kill Devaki, why should tell it now? They should have told after 6 or 7 children are born. Then they would have said that, okay, the 8th child will kill you. Be careful now. Why the gods are telling now when no child is even born? That means gods want that he should do it. Gods are favoring him. Otherwise, tell me why they are telling him now and not after 7th child?
Because they want him to kill all of these other children that Devaki is going to have.
So that means they want, the gods want it, right?
No. They don't want him to kill Devaki now. They want him to kill the children that Devaki will give to relieve them of the curse.
How do you know that?
That was already told.
So they could have pronounced it when she is pregnant and she is about to give birth. At least 1 year he would wait.
Well, you can find fault with the gods, but they decided to announce it now.
Yeah, so
it
that's
wasn't their goal that
so they must
kill
have.
her.
You see, behind every action there is a cause. So if they are saying it now instead of saying after 1 year, they must have a reason, and the reason is kill her.
Listen this.
The reason you mentioned in the last.
There is no other. I mean, anyatha anupatti praman,
Yeah. Listen this. Since everybody is thinking that what the God are saying is completely the truth and
It is truth. It is truth.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
truth. Means
I mean, we know from the story that it is truth.
means that they already know that he will not kill because the 8th child will take his life. So why we are worrying so much?
But why are they saying it now? That's the question. Why are they saying it now?
And he already explained in commentary which we read before, they wanted to say that now because Kansa was so much attached to Devaki and they wanted to break the relationship right from now. So this way, by the time
It's a bad plan. They are putting Devaki's life in danger by doing this. I mean, this is a big mistake on the part of the Devas. They are putting Devaki's life in danger by saying it. If they want to spoil the relationship, they could have planned something else. But to say like this when the poor lady just got married and happy and spoil the whole situation. So don't blame.
Deva also knew the capability of Vasudeva and he says he will be able to resolve these issues.
The Vasudeva is, you think they know the capacity. Vasudeva was sweating.
Yes.
He was trembling, man. Don't think they knew the capacity. These are all just fanciful imaginations.
Babaji, I just have a question. So, is this particular rule that there is no sin if one kills someone is under danger?
To protect yourself, you can do anything.
Yourself.
Yeah, you can do anything.
But is it the case for every situation or only for certain?
Every situation.
Everyone have right to save.
Everybody has a life to. I mean, this is a law that if somebody comes to your house and shooting, you can kill him, right? And if somebody enters your property and starts shooting you, you can actually shoot him. It's not an offense because you have the right to protect yourself. Hari bol, let's move.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, I just wanted to ask that if it was said that the eighth child will kill Kansa, then why he killed all the seven children?
That will come in the story, because which one is the eighth you cannot figure out. It depends from where you start killing. If you start counting from number 2, which one will be the eighth? The first one. It's not just one way of counting. You can count from anywhere. Right? If you count from the back side, then which one is the first? First is the eighth. Right? So it just depends how you count. So Kamsa did not want to get fooled like that this is the eighth and this is this, this is this. Who knows what the gods are thinking? Which one is eighth? Anyone can be eighth. Right? What is east and what is west? It's relative. What is east to you now, you move few steps, that becomes west. Right? So eighth is relative. Okay.
Babaji, in this shloka, this aparadh is in the sense of sin, like pap, not exactly like bhakti aparadh.
Yeah. Aparadh here simply means flaw, defect. Means there's no flaw on his part. Okay, let's move. This was just a little bit exercise in debating, so that your brain churns. So let's read the commentary. Apohya pratikarya. Apohya means pratikarya means try to, what you call, counteract. You should try to counteract. If there is a danger to your life, then you should try to counteract it according to your buddhi, whatever you may have. You may have to talk, you may have to run away, you may have to fight, right? Fight, flight, freeze. Right? So whatever is needed. Yavan buddhi balayor udayor yatra tadyatha syat. As long as your buddhi is functioning, as long as you have strength in your body, in your senses, you should not give up. If you become sick, if you lose power, there is nothing you can do. But as long as you have strength, you should fight. Asmat kansahastat mrityu pratikare mam tu balasya udayo vifala eva buddher udayastu safalo bhavitum arhati iti bhava. So he says that as far as my bala, my physical strength is concerned, I am not a match to Kamsa. But as far as my buddhi is concerned, I think I can defeat him or overpower him. So buddhir yasya balam tasya nirbuddhestu kutah balam. One who has buddhi has the power. One who does not have buddhi does not have power, even if he has the power. So the jackals, they killed the elephant. There was a pack of jackals, they saw one elephant moving and they said, wow, it will be so nice if we can eat his meat. But how can we get his meat? He is so powerful. So one of the chief ones says, just see my buddhi bal. You will see the strength of my intelligence. I will get this elephant for food for you. So he says, really? He says, yes. He says, you just see. So he planned. So he went to the elephant when he was sitting in a peaceful mind and not thinking. He came running to him. He says, sir, sir, sir. He says, what? He says, I am the messenger of the animals of this forest. He says, so what? He says, they all have decided that they want to install you as the king of the forest. You will be the chief of all the animals. And he says, really? He says, yes, the meeting is going on and they're all waiting for you. And they have sent me to call you and they want to do your abhishek now. Because now this is the muhurta, good time. So he should not delay and let's go quickly. He says, please hurry up because we don't want this auspicious moment to pass. So then elephant was so happy. He says, I am going to be the king of all the animals, including the lions and tigers and wolves. I'll be the ruler. He said, yes. He said, you just follow me. So the jackal is running and the elephant is following him. So then he had already planned, he took through a way where there was a ditch, and on top they had put some little grass. So there was no problem for the jackal to pass, he's not heavy. And the elephant came, he fell in it. And when he fell down, he said, hey, I'm here, I fell down. The jackal comes, what? Fell down, don't worry. I call the other jackals, will pull you out. So then he called all of them and they had a nice lunch. So this is called buddhi. Ya buddhiriyasya balantasya. So therefore he is commenting that his physical strength, he cannot be successful in fighting with him. But buddhir udayastu safalo bhavitum arhati. He says that, but his buddhi can be successful. And therefore he says, asau mrityuhu. So he is going to now try to protect Devaki.
That was my argument also. Vasudeva is more intelligent than Kamsa.
Thank you. We agree with you. I was just being devil. Sapradaya mrityave putran mochye kripanam imam sutame yadi jayeran mrityurvan mriyet chet viparyayo va kimne syad gatir dhatur durutyaya upastito nivarteta nimvritta punarapatet. So this is what he thought. He says that this Kamsa is like a death. He's not calling that. He should say actually Pradaya Kamsaya Putran, that I will give my children to Kamsa and Mochiye Kripanamimam, and I will protect this poor lady from his sword. He is calling Kamsa as death, Mrityave. So he says that I will give my sons to this Kamsa and in this way I will protect her. Sutame yadi jairan mrityurvanam liyachet. So if any sons will be born to me from her, then I will give them to him. So maybe no sons, because if he can spare her now, who knows whether sons will be born or not born. And then who knows, maybe Kamsa will die before the 8th son is born. Or he will die even with the first son is born, because death can come any time. So therefore he says, Mrityurvane mriyet chet, that if this Kamsa himself did not die, then I will give him sons. Otherwise if he dies, then who is going to kill my sons? Or maybe my son will kill him. Even when he is born and I give it to him, he will still kill him. If he has to kill, he will kill. So viparyayo vakyamne syad vidhatur gatir vidhatur durte. So no one can transgress the injunction of vidhata, or what you call the lines of the fate. So if it is actually written that he will be killed by the 8th child, then I will give him the 8th child and he will kill him anyway. Who can change that? Instead of he killing the child will kill him. Viparyayo kimne sat, why it cannot be other way around? So now I promise him that I will give you the child. As soon as the child is born, I give you. So I will give you from the first one itself. And then you can do what you want to do. So upasthito nivarteta nivritta punarapateta. So he says sometimes when the death is present, it can be postponed, as it happened in case of Ajamila. Right? In case of Ajamila, the Yamdutas came, but he did not die. And then the other people who have no death, like Hiranyakashipu, he said he will not die inside, outside, day or night, by animal or by this and by weapon. Or, he had all these boons, means he was free from death for all practical purpose, but he was killed. So nivritta punarapateta, one who is free from death, death can come to him. And one for whom death has come, he can become free from that. As it also happened to Satyavan, that story of Satyavan and Savitri. Satyavan was predicted that he will die after 1 year, and yet Savitri married him, and he did die, but then Savitri got him back from Yamaraj. So death came, he even died, and still he was brought back, like the son of Chitraketu, right? So he died, then he came back for a short time, just for a lecture. Then he went away. So he says so many things can happen. So tatra evam karishyami iti swagatamaha. So this what is being described here in these 2 shlokas is what he is thinking within his own mind. Swagata. He's not speaking this audibly, but just in his own head, planning what to do. Mrityave kansaya. Mrityu here means kansa. Nanu idamapi anuchitamiti ashankyaha sutaiti. So then when he thought that I will give my sons to Kamsa and protect my wife, then he thought that this is also not good. I mean, naturally, what will you feel? That newborn child is there and you are going to go and give it for killing? So he thought, oh. So then he says, Sutame yadi jairan. First of all, if at all children are born to me. So there is a if. Right? This but and if are 2 important words. So he says, maybe they are not born, so let me protect. So thinking like this. And then Mrityurvana Mriyat Chet, and maybe Kamsa will die himself before that. Thinking like this. Okay. So Suta iti yadi na jairan tada na koapi chinta. If I do not have any children, then I have no worries. And yadi jairan atsya mrityu kansa stavta kalina pinamrit. And even if I have children, who knows, maybe Kansa himself will die by that time. Tada anuchitam syadev. But if he does not die, then of course it will be highly improper. But what can be done? At least I save Devaki. Devaki tu samprati jivet. Yadi cha tavta kalena kanso mriyate tada na kachidapi chinta. But if Kansa also dies, then I have no worries. That will be the best. Viparyayo vaiti maya tadanim asmai putre samarpyamano sati sa putra eva sadhya prabli bhuya kansamimam vadishyati va. It can also happen the opposite, that child is born and I offer that child to Kamsa, and that child suddenly becomes very powerful and kills Kamsa. Who knows? Nanu pradhasya kansasya tava balkat katham vadham sambhavet. So someone asked a question, how is it possible that such a grown-up powerful person would be killed by a newborn baby? He says everything is possible. Right? If a little virus can kill, at least he's more than a virus. Right? Virus can kill a strong grown-up man. Why not a small baby? He can also kill. So tatraha gatiriti asyastvam garbha ityuktavato dhatuh. So he says gatir, that we don't know the fate. Gatir means fate, because we just now heard that the 8th child of Devaki will kill you. एवं च सति उपस्थिता कंसस्य हस्तात् देवकी मृत्युर निवर्तेत. So in this way, at least I would be able to protect Devaki from the hands of cruel Kamsa, and I must do that. तथा मत कर्तृक पुत्र अर्पण प्रतिज्ञा निवृत्तोपि कंसस्य मृत्यु पुनरापतेत प्राप्तो भवेत. And even when I offer my children to him as per my promise, mat kartrik putran pratigya kansasya mrityu punarapate prapta bhavet, it is possible that Kamsa can still die. So he is considering all these possibilities, and he comes to this conclusion that I better tell him that he should spare Devaki, and I offer any child who is born to her. So this is what he is considering in his mind. Agner yatha daru viyoga yogayor adrishtatoonyatra nimittamasti evam hijantorapi durvibhavya sarira sanyoga viyoga hetu. So he is giving an example that just like the fire, so it burns the wood. So which would get burnt and when, this all depends on the fate of the wood and not on anything else. It's only the adrishta because of which it happens. So sometimes the wood in the fire gets burnt and wood in the kitchen is safe, right? Wood in the kitchen is meant for burning, it may be staying safe there, but the fire happens in the forest and that gets burnt. And sometimes when there is fire, then it burns one house, burns another house, and then it leaves one house and goes to the next house, right? It happens like that also. So Hanuman was burning Lanka, but Vibhishan's house was spared, right? All other people who had brought the cotton and the ghee to pour on his tail, he said, okay, you supplied it, so I should use it for you, isn't it? If you bring ghee for me, then I should give you something back. So all those people who brought ghee and cotton from their house, then Hanuman went to each house and burnt it. Right? As a thank you to them. So thank you for giving this. I am so happy, because otherwise from where I will bring? If I have to burn Lanka, then from where will I bring so much cotton and so much ghee? So you people are so generous that you're supplying it free of cost to me, so that I can do my job and go back and tell to Ramchandra that, look, this is what I did. It didn't cost anything. They themselves supplied it. So, but Vibhishan's house was spared because he didn't give. So he says, in the same way, you don't know which person meets whom. There's 7 billion people, but some specific people come together, and then even when they're together, they separate. So it is all the game of adrishta, fate or karma. So it is karma which brings people together. It is karma which separates them together. Just watch that. So machittam chintitam etat chintitam etan na sambhavam. He says, what I have thought, then it is not completely impossible. Why? Yatha praninam adrishtam durvitarkyam. Because the fate of human being is very difficult to know. Right? So, shanurdhvam na janami vidhata kim vidhasyati. I don't know what will happen to me next moment. No one can say. Even the great astrologers, they cannot predict their own death. They say one thing and then it doesn't happen. Even great astrologer Vasishtha, his prediction came wrong. Right? He is the one who found the Muhurta to put Lord Ramchandra as the king of Ayodhya. He went to forest for 14 years. So what happened to his Jyotish? His sage is supposed to have a vision. He's master of Jyotish, but it failed. So Jyotish is like that. It's only a probability. It's not 100%. Just like in quantum mechanics, we have a probability. We have this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Nothing is certain. So fate is exactly like that. Because there are too many factors involved. It's not only something which has happened in the past, you are also doing so many things now, and many people are doing many things. And all those influences are there. So you can give a probability that there is a good probability of this thing happening, but no one can say for certain that it is going to happen like this only. So high probability means it can happen, but sometimes not. So therefore he says this adrishta or prarabdha is durvitarkya. It is difficult to explain it logically, that what really caused it. There is a logic, there is a cause and effect relationship, but it is so complex. Because if something is happening, there has to be a cause for that. But to ascertain the cause, that is difficult. So therefore he says that durvitarkyamiti sadrishtantamaha agnir vane vriksham pradahto daruno yo viyoga yoga kadachit sanhitasya pi yoga kadachit viprakrishtasya pi yoga. So just like if there is a forest fire, so sometimes fire is here and there is a tree next to it and that gets spared, but something which is far away, that gets burnt. So it's not predictable, although there is a reason for that. Some wind blew off or whatever happened, but thing is that what can be said. So vrikshanam dukkha adrishtam eva karanam. So what is the cause here? Ultimately he says it is the karma of the tree. Some tree had bad karma, so it got burnt. Some tree had good karma, it survived. एवमेव शरीराणाम संयोग वियोगीय जन्म मरणी और हेतु दुर्विभाव्य विचिन्त्य. So it says in the same way the embodied beings, they have their birth and they have their death. So it is also very difficult to explain it. Birth and death, these are two major mysteries of this universe, and they will always remain so. No matter how much science advances, they will still remain a mystery, because they are beyond the so-called simple natural laws. It's a very complex situation. एवं विमृश्य तं पापं यावदात्मनि दर्शनं पूजयामास वै शौरिर्बहुर्मानपुरःसरम्. So he says that thinking like this, evam vimrishya tam papam, that sinful person Kamsa, pujyamasa, he worshipped him, he honored him. Shauri bahunman purasara, with great respect, he gave him so much respect. Pujyamasa, yavad buddhi atma. So according to his knowledge and according to his deliberation, he gave much respect to him, and then he spoke to him. Pujyamas means he spoke in a very respectful words, so that somehow he can change his mind. Because in this situation, arguing or becoming proud or challenging him, none of these things are going to work. He is very egoistic, Kamsa. So the only way you can change his mind is to flatter his ego. So when ego is flattered, then his mood will change. Then he will think, well, he's being so nice to me, how can I be so cruel? So this is what he's doing. So sometimes you have to do like that, right? In Hindi they say gadhe ko bhi baap banao. Sometimes you have to say father to an ass. Means somebody some human being who is like a donkey, but you also have to touch his feet and respect him to get your work done. So that is intelligence. So yena kayena prakarena, somehow or other, you have to get your job done. And if you remain proud, then you will lose it. You can keep your pride with yourself. Who cares for it? There are millions wandering, loitering around with pride. So intelligent person is one who can achieve what he wants to achieve. So that is buddhimatta. So this is what he is going to do now. प्रसन्नवदनाम्भोजः नृशंसं निरपत्रपं मनसा दूयमानेन विहसन्निदमब्रवीत्. So now he puts up a nice smiley face. Vasudev. Prasanna vadanambhoja, with a very pleasing face, and vihasan, as if he is smiling. He spoke the following words to the cruel and shameless Kamsa. Although Vasudeva in his mind, he was very much troubled. Duyamanena. He was very troubled inside, but outside he did not show it. Outside he was very calm and composed, and he spoke to him in a very pleasing manner, praising him. He has already praised him enough. Remember, he said that you are a heroic person, you are very affectionate and so many things, you are famous, all that. So he is continuing that. So swantah prasad gyapnartham pratyagram snigdhikritam vadnam bhojam yena sadhuyamanena santapidyamanena manasa yuktah. So his heart was very much troubled because he was worried about his wife, but outwardly he put a nice smile like a lotus who is blooming, and then he spoke the following words to him. Sri Vasudeva Uvacha. So Sri Vasudeva said, Nahi asyaste bhayam saumya yadvai saha sharira vak putran samarpishreyasya yataste bhayamuthitam. So Vasudeva said that, O Saumya. Saumya means the gentle one. So he knows that the Kamsa is very cruel. He had a sword in his hand ready to kill his own sister. He's saying, Oh Saumya, oh the most gentle person, listen what I have to say. He says that you heard that voice from the sky, and the voice said that the 8th child of Devaki will kill you. So you have no fear from Devaki, isn't it? So Kamsa will say yes. Your fear is from the 8th child. So I promise that I will give you all the child who are born to her. Putran samarpiyasya asya yattaste bhayamuthitam. Your fear is only from the 8th child of Devaki, not from Devaki. So why you want to kill her unnecessarily and get bad name and also become sinful? It's very sinful to do that. You are so well established in society, everybody praises you, everybody knows your valor, your heroic acts, and why do you want to spoil all this? Sambhavitasya purusasya marnadatirichyate. Sambhavitasya chakirti marnadatirichyate. For a person of fame, infamy is death, actually more than death. So you are a famous person and now you are going to do this. You are inviting your own death. By killing her, you are also killing yourself. So don't do that, there is nothing. You just kill the children. That's enough. I will give you children. So asyaha sakashat te bhayam nasti. You have no fear from her. Kintu asya ashtmat putrat. But only from the 8th child. And this is what the prediction or the voice in the sky spoke. Yad yatha aham tu putran ashtau eva samarpisya. But I am saying that I will give you all the 8 children. The first 8 children I will give to you. From 9th onwards I will keep. So don't worry. After all, he says, ये तो अपने घर की बात है. क्यों? बच्चा पैदा करना तो अपने बाएं हाथ का खेल है. तो ले लो, वही 8 ले लो, दूसरे 8 पैदा करना. So yata putrate bhayamuthitam seva bandhyatam. So you have fear, or the fear has arisen only from their children, so you kill them. Astaveva va bandhyantam. You can keep, either I give you the child, you can keep them you and kill the 8th one, or you kill all of them. I don't care, but don't spare her. So this is what he proposed, and it worked. So finally Vasudeva was able to save Devaki. And we'll stop here. Any question on this?
Babaji, you mentioned that sometimes you've got to call a donkey your father. So one might argue that that is being superficial or being dishonest, but at the same time, you find that when you are brutally honest, people get offended. So how do you get the balance right in relationships?
So then you have to see the end outcome. What is the outcome of it? You have to do it in such a way that they don't distrust you. Just like in this case, he is also going to give the child. He promises. He's not telling lies. But at the same time, he's putting up a face because he has to protect Devaki. He's putting a nice smile. He's praising him. So this kind of dishonesty is alright. What is the point in being honest and then losing your life? So if some thief comes to you and says, "Where is your money?" and you say, "Well, here it is." And actually I have in the other pocket also. Well, he's going to take it. If you want to protect your money, but don't tell.
We have a saying in Gujarati, "Garaj sare gadherane baap ke wo."
Exactly. That's why Gujaratis are so successful. Right? They're using this. But if you tell this to people in Haryana, they will say, "What? I will never do that." अपना काम निकालने के लिए गधे को बाप बनाओ. You can call and donkey and your father if that's how you're going to get your job done. That's what he's saying. Right? Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So when you have grudge, means you have your need to be fulfilled, and there is somebody who may be a low class person, but you can get your job done through him. Then you go and please him, praise him, bow down to him. Okay, thank you.